Hello, I'm Neil Bolton, President of Blue Ridge Services. Blue Ridge is known throughout the solid waste industry as an expert in landfill operations efficiency, training, and consulting. We've worked at countless landfills and trained hundreds of landfill workers across the U.S. and Canada. And yes, we've learned a few things along the way. That's why we've produced these videos so that every landfill can provide quality, economical on-site training to their employees. As a heavy equipment operator, I learned the value of common sense. As an engineer, I've come to appreciate the value of good training. These training videos offer both. If you want your landfill to be more efficient and cost-effective, if you want your crew to work together safely as a team, if you want to improve your landfill's operation and be more competitive, finally, if you think practical nuts and bolts training is the best kind, then you've come to the right place. Stay tuned. Landfill workers are exposed to a variety of hazards. Injury can result from dust, noise, and trash, not to mention trucks and heavy equipment. One of the most basic ways to stay safe is to use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE. Why don't all workers wear appropriate personal protective equipment? There are lots of reasons, but not many good ones. Some people think that PPE is only for sissies. Others think that accidents only happen to other people. Some even think that they can't get hurt. Almost that they are indestructible. Well, don't you believe it? Nobody is indestructible. Well, practically nobody. Seriously, in many cases, workers don't use PPE because it cramps their style, doesn't look cool, or just plain makes them feel uncomfortable. Might I suggest that losing an eye or being run over by a truck might have much the same effect, and to a much greater degree. In many cases, keeping yourself safe can be as easy as wearing gloves or goggles, and certainly these types of basic PPE are important. But don't stop there. Safety-minded landfill workers recognize that there is a wide selection of PPE available to ensure that the workplace is a safe place. There is personal protective equipment designed to protect workers in virtually any situation you can imagine. The decision to use specific pieces of personal protective equipment should be based on the risks associated with the current conditions. Here's a list of PPE that is commonly used by landfill workers. Hard hat, goggles and safety glasses, gloves, dust mask and respirator, earplugs and earmuffs, high visibility clothing, boots, trousers, lower back support belt. When should you wear PPE? Well, it depends on where you are working and what risks might be present. In the real world, you would seldom, if ever, wear every type of PPE at the same time. Chances are, if you did, you wouldn't be able to move, let alone get much work done. But certainly, you should select specific types of PPE based on the situation. Obviously, you'd want to wear a hard hat whenever you are working around overhead equipment, but it's not just falling objects that can cause head injury. A snapped cable, a bursting propane bottle, or a piece of pipe caught on the dozer's tracks can also cause head injury. Keep your hard hat handy. If there is a risk, wear it. Make sure that it is adjusted for proper fit, and if it gets dented or damaged, replace it. Goggles and safety glasses are designed to protect your eyes from dust, blowing debris, or flying objects that could cause irritation, injury, or even blindness. Anytime you're working around heavy equipment, tools, or trash, it's a good idea to wear appropriate eye protection. Generally, goggles protect against dust and blowing debris, and safety glasses protect against flying objects that could cause serious injury. Sometimes you may want to wear both, or as a compromise, you may wear safety glasses that have a more complete wrap. You can even get safety sunglasses. Want to protect your hands? Wear gloves. Cotton gloves can keep your hands warm. Leather gloves can protect you from cuts, scrapes, and blisters. You can even get gloves that are puncture resistant for use when cleaning the machine's wheels or undercarriage, where you could encounter medical sharps or other dangers. Breathing toxic fumes could kill you in a matter of minutes. Long-term exposure to dust could have the same result, but may take decades. Either way, you lose. Protect your lungs by wearing the appropriate mask or respirator. Dust masks and respirators are designed to filter the air you breathe. A simple dust mask may protect you from dust, but would be useless against toxic vapors. For a mask or respirator to be effective, you must match it to the risk. Check the manufacturer's recommendation to make sure that you have the right mask or respirator for the job. How loud is too loud? OSHA regulations state that no one should be in an environment where the decibels are higher than 90 for more than 8 hours. What's that mean? In general, if it's too noisy to have normal conversation without raising your voice, it's too loud. In those situations, you should be wearing appropriate hearing protection. If you operate or work around heavy equipment, it's a good idea to wear hearing protection. There are many different options ranging from soft foam earplugs to rubber earplugs to earmuffs. The important thing to note when choosing ear protection is the noise reduction number, or NRR. This number, marked on the outside of the package, is a measure of how much noise, how many decibels, the earplugs cut out. For example, if you are working in an environment where the decibel level is 110, wear ear protection that has an NRR rating of about 25, which means the decibel level will be reduced to a safer level of 85. One of the most common reasons given for a driver hitting a pedestrian is, "I just didn't see him." If you want to stay safe, stay visible. High visibility clothing should be worn at all times, except perhaps when you are in a vehicle. Be seen and be safe. Landfill workers must often walk on rough, uneven ground, or even worse, on trash. Good leather work boots provide foot and ankle support. They can also protect against punctures from nails or medical sharps. If you're working at a landfill, tennis shoes or sandals aren't good enough. But remember, regardless of how tough a boot is, walking on exposed waste is not a good idea. Trousers can prevent minor cuts and scrapes. They can also protect you from bugs, thistles, and flying debris. In most cases, any type of trousers would be acceptable. When assessing any work situation for potential risk, be creative. Play the what if game. What if a piece of blowing debris gets in your eye? What if there is a medical sharp in that trash you're walking through? What if that cable you're dragging is chaffed? Use your imagination. Every situation has potential risk. Also, don't forget to base your selection of PPE on what you already know. Look at the landfill's history. Think about incidents that have occurred in the past and how the appropriate use of PPE could have helped prevent them. Use common sense. Remember, most accidents result from somebody who isn't taking time to be safe or is simply ignoring basic safety principles. A common question is, when should I wear certain types of PPE? The answer is, whenever you want to protect certain parts of your body. Your landfill probably has a formal policy stating which types of personal protective equipment are required in given situations. If your landfill does have a PPE policy, follow it. If it doesn't, suggest that one be developed, and in the meantime, use common sense. You may be tempted to think that following your landfill's policy is a no-brainer, that no additional thinking or caution is required. Well, don't bet your life on it. Remember, no policy can take the place of common sense. For example, a landfill's policy may require employees to wear leather gloves when working around waste. In general, this makes good sense. However, leather gloves may not be safe when working with power tools or other types of mechanical equipment having gears, pulleys, or other moving parts. And in some cases, wearing leather gloves will not protect your hands from hazardous materials or from very sharp objects. So look around, consider the potential risks, and use the appropriate PPE. Okay, it's time for the safety test. Remember, it's an easy test. There's no penalty for wrong answers. If you make a mistake here, nobody gets hurt or killed, but please take it seriously, because hopefully it can help prepare you for the real test you take every day out on the landfill. Take a look at these photographs. Do you see anything that might pose some kind of safety risk? Remember, every situation has potential risk. This hard hat is worn out, but the operator is sentimental and doesn't want to replace it. Would it still provide appropriate protection? No, it should be replaced. Anything else? This mechanic is checking a hot radiator. Any suggestions or comments? It's best to let the machine cool before checking the radiator. He should be wearing goggles or a face shield. Anything else? This employee works in the litter picking crew. What safety equipment is he lacking? Boots? Gloves? Goggles? Anything else? This person is working as a spotter at the active tipping area. It is dusk and visibility is limited. What types of PPE would be appropriate? High visibility vest with reflective strip, hard hat, goggles, flashlight. Anything else? A dozer broke down while pushing a load of waste. This operator will drag a cable out to the machine so that it can be towed out of the way. Do you have any comments on his PPE? Should have boots. Should have goggles. Should have a hard hat. Should have leather gloves. Anything else? Working at a landfill is hard work. Working safely is a serious responsibility. Become familiar with your facility's safety plans. Refer often to the safety booklet that accompanies this video. And remember, safety isn't a plan, it's an attitude. Match your choice of PPE to the situation. Use common sense and judgment, and be safe. Thanks for watching this training video on landfill operations. We offer a wide selection of training videos and many other landfill consulting services. If you're looking for information on landfill operations, look to the company that's been redefining how landfills work since 1988. In fact, when it comes to landfill operations, we wrote the book, The Handbook of Landfill Operations. If you're interested in learning more about how landfills work, please contact us.